Why the Elohim spliced the Earthman's DNA. There are things you never expected to hear from another human of Earth in this time. The very fact that I dare to say it might scare many or shock a few. I do not limit myself because of your sentiments. I do not limit myself because of your lack of faculty to believe my truth. I will say these incredible words, and I shall speak of gods as I speak of humans. For I have seen these gods as I have seen the humans. If this makes me the impossible man, I have no choice in the matter. My people, in this determination to enlighten you about the truth and beginnings of religion with the use of God's spells, I enter as far into Akasha as it will take. This will not only go back to the beginnings of all that affects young budding humans, but it will enlighten you to the true definitions of all supremacies, including God in perspective and the world around us. It will introduce you to your own power and bring you face to face with your own eternal being. We must do this at this point, for it is more than necessary. For you, I go where it takes, even to the council of the gods of Elohim. I must also bring you face to face with the actual imperfections of this God civilization that crowned your ancestors, creating the misogynies that becomes modern humans. These same misogynies turned out well before they were attacked by evil slave beings that corrupted these wonderful works of gods and facilitated the confused conception of race. This race concept came as a means to make the masses divided, and that one man would shepherd the other on behalf of weak Emmanuel gods not related to Elohim, not related to Elohim. These reprobate slaves wanted the power that they never experienced as slaves in the heavens. Woe unto the people when the slave becomes the master of the race. At some point, we will speak to these histories. I will, because it is time, reveal to you the advanced definitions of certain words for people, places, and things, so that your eyes will open to your power. For example, if you will not be provided with the down to earth definition of God, you will not escape these realms of codependencies that are not compatible for human growth. We saw you lying still when you were born. You knew not how even to sit up. We saw you grow a little. We saw you sit up and then we saw you creeping. Now you are attempting to stand. If there is not that solid ground beneath your feet, you will never walk. It is time for you to walk. What will you do? If we tell you to rub shoulders with the gods today, will you be afraid? Don't you know that the child must soon become the father? The cub must become the lion, and there is no blasphemy in it. You are the project and not the own possessions of the gods that came to raise you up. You are the project and not the own possessions of the gods that came to raise you up. These gods have traveled to new and higher domains to be raised up themselves. Whatever you are now waiting for was long vested in you. Even the blood of the Elohim, your blood of salvation, they had left to you as a parting gift. Stand up now as the children of God. Rise into the heavens as the God that remains in this realm. Do not fear the powers that are now given to you. You receive them from the gods before you. And if you do not become a God instead of the subject you expect to forever be, there will be no future creators for the offsprings of the gods of the future. As above, So below, welcome to the secret of the circle of life that we shall give to the man and his becoming God. You hear and speak the words free will, and still you do not know what it means. The words free will in itself has no well. The word free will in itself has to mean Godhood. This intrinsical energy cannot be less than godlike. There is no inanimity in it. No God can create the divine of the human. He can create the caricase. Spirit beings that are already intrinsic will come to this realm and travel in the caricase are the cloned body that was created by the God who is present at the time. It is just like driving in one car or the other. You do not give a man a utility vehicle and then because he drives around in a car with your design, you now think you created or own him. How can you create free will in the other entity? Gods that were egotistical felt like by scientists cloning the sheep dolly, they own the sheep dolly. Just like how sometimes you believe you own a dog, but you don't. To say you own the dog is more blasphemy than to say that you are God's. I am raising these points to show you how ludicrous it was to think that God owns your free will and even your soul being in spite of yourself. But I shall tell you that at certain times in history, the gods made and cultivated vocabularies that limited your mindsets to this belittling way of thinking. This was because they were egotistical. They were laboring for gold and precious minerals on the earth, and they wanted you to happily be their servants. They needed slave workers. This shall also shed the light on the imperfect human aspects of the gods that were hidden to you for superficial reasons, which are understandable for any civilization fighting to attain in the face of adversities. These gods had so much adversities to conquer and they needed help. If they were perfect as you believe, you will grant them more perfect love and respect as you believe. This is why they channeled your minds this way. This was the beginning of God's spells. This is a cycle and not an isolated event in time. We come to set captives free and allow Him to grow. I already told you that these words are seeds that will grow. It is my task, and not even I can stop it. Hello again, from behind the dark veil. Today I come with the highest sense of taboo to you, but do not tremble for fear of blasphemy. I am with the gods and the gods with me. We work for the same acts of perpetual motion. Today we are here as a team for the deliverance of humanity. It is time to set him free. When he raises himself to these energies, he will see the demons in his midst and in his places of leadership that are holding him down. If they turn you into blood-sucking cannibals, we will open your eyes. If they feed you and fluoride all day, we will fire up your third eye. And by every means they challenge you, that challenge shall return tenfold in this day of Aquarius. This is not because of any greatness of ours, it is simply because of the hour upon the clock compatible to the energies at the time in perpetual motion. Whenever I come, you know that I come with a terrible tongue that cuts through the earth world paradigm like the very well tempered and sharpened sword. Do not be afraid of these scary words. Some parts of these messages today will be like a psychic channeling of past energies of Elohims upon the earth in the past. It means that I will present insights from their perspectives concerning the humankind whom they had cloned here. I did engage with these energies on a compatible and agreeable basis, and they are being so very kind and gracious. They want to see you become the gods you can be. Neither will they return to babysit you. They tell me that what you will forever receive are not coming gods to deliver, but coming energies to facilitate. For you are already gods, and they had given you their own blood and akasha. Consider me as a son of heaven that shines forth the first lights of these energies, and after me, the mightiful brother and sister sons that I adore shall be here in all their shining. You, being the good servant, when they needed you, more than repaid your debt to the Elohim, and there was never a time when you were not free. It is simply that what you will to give is never stolen from you. What you freely will to give is never stolen from you. Just as now you will to sacrifice your children to the beast of anarchy, and their flesh and blood cannot be stolen in the agreement. You have a karmic lesson that you won't seem to learn over and over again, and you learn not, neither do you move on. All your chains were always in your mind, and they created these chains because they needed your energy at that time. They are not the ones that entrap you now. The Emanuela and the Titayuri devils, with every blood-sucking vampire creature of the shadows, are now at fault for tormenting you. But still, you can be free by choice, for you became their sacrificial prey by choice. The only thing that they have over you is your consent. I want to repeat this. The only thing these devils have over you is your consent. But you call for your own blood, you blind son of man. These are the words from the Anunnaki civilization that cloned the human you called Adamu. Let us say something about these events before we close off this reading of Akasha. The cloning was sanctioned by the son of the heavenly emperor who came to earth after its discovery by a rebellious warlord. They found and decided to mine gold and other materials, but the slaves they brought to this realm were worthless. These were sociopathic Igigi beings that would not be less than reprobates for any angelite or humanite civilization. So they were kept always as subjects. These are the ones that becomes your fallen demons of earth on this day. But you are greater powers than they, and you do not even know. Because of the useless Igigi slaves, the son of the heavenly God agreed to try and clone the happy humanoid creatures they found upon the earth, so they would become more suited for servitude to the Elohim civilization. They were very happy and peaceful, fruit-loving beings, and if this thing worked, they could produce great servants for the mission. The great empire from the heavens was always reluctant about the idea, but on the earth, his children, and especially his son, who was then the Lord of the earth, sanctioned a great woman biologist to take DNA samples and use her own uterus, her precious body and blood, for the project. So with these samples, the blood of the earth humanoid and that of the gods were commingled at the first attempt at cloning, but the result was unfavorable. With great perseverance, many more attempts were made. Many hideous and near hideous results were produced. One could not learn to communicate, one had dysfunctional limbs, etc. etc. Then, at another attempt, one came that seemed to please very well. However, after the end of all that effort, it was discovered that he could not reproduce as humans would create seed and multiply. The mission seemed to fail, but the mother of the new model, the great lady biologist, came up with new ideas. This time, a wonderful son came, and they named him Adamio. On observation, the being looked like the very image of these gods, even with the earth complexion, which was a part of the cause of future complications in more ways than one. We will expose many of these histories, including those that will not be found in written books of this earth plane, but you will validate them in yourself. This is the threshold of a higher realm of reality, and you are at the doorway to all knowing energies. Every parent will be drawn by love to his or her child, and no man's child will forever be to him as a mere servant. My beloved, let me tell you something awesome. The first apparent success was a failure. The new humanoid could not reproduce as the typical male, but diligent Minerta, the awesome woman scientist from the heavens and the son of the God of heaven, came up with a scientific concept. It was to splice the DNA of this humanoid and their DNA in a way that would bridge the problem. Now, here is the secret that I want to tell you. Go and research a mysterious man made splicing of the human DNA that puzzles scientists at the present time. Maybe you have never heard about this situation that keeps the world of science marveling today. For the splicing the modern day human DNA had to be manually done by a person. The human DNA was spliced thousands of years ago. Scientists have discovered it and it had to be manually done by a person. I am telling you that this is the answer to that mystery. A woman who was as the mother of modern humans made that splice over 20,000 years ago, and she was here with the civilization of the Elohim population that rested on earth for eons, eons. But that was not all. They also made and sent coded messages about them being the gods so that your scientists of today can read them and know the marvelous works of the Elohim civilization to the blueprint of the human form of this earth. God Almighty in the body of man. They see these messages from the gods, but only they do not tell you. These gods did not seem to give you much. In fact, at their leaving, a very injustice was done to the innocent man. However, what they left inside of you is very much more than enough pay, and this is your ticket to the threshold of paradise. My people, please think on these things and stay tuned for more on this topic. I cannot give too much in one video. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for the next one that goes further down the rabbit hole. I am going to bring from these histories the most incredible revelations that will blow your minds, and these will include truths that you cannot verify as soon that you can verify them as soon as they are spoken, but some will not be found in any written resource. We came to tell you many things, and each came with a particular gift. I am handing you this present with love and adoration, you wonderful children of angel-eyed God beings from the planet of the Elohim. Peace out.